This is just how it goes out on the water. One moment you're out there hooning it up, having a great time with some friends, and the next thing you know, things can get a little sideways, kind of like some of the incidents we'll see on this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. Our first incident this week is going to take us down to the country of Chile, where just this past week, the vessel Tornagalones collided with a temporary dock near the construction site of the Chicao Bridge. Due to the high currents, the vessel does wind up being pinned against this temporary dock. Eventually, the water running so fast through the vessel starts to lift the vessel where it will eventually make it capsize. At the moment we're currently seeing here in the video, there are currently 4 crew members on board this vessel. Nobody seemed to be in a huge rush to get off the vessel for some reason. I know I would have been out of there pretty quick, but right here you see them start to come out as they realize this vessel's going down. Somehow all 4 of these people wind up surviving this incident due to the quick work of emergency personnel. Local Chilean officials and the Navy are also conducting a consultation to determine what actually caused the crash, as well if there's any environmental impact that could be caused if there was any oil released from this vessel into the water. Our next story to make the boating news this week is going to bring us back to the US, where as many of you guys know, pretty much all across the country we are experiencing winter storms. This is wreaking havoc at marinas across the country, just like here at the Portland Rowing Club, where the snow and ice got so heavy on top of the buildings that the roof actually collapsed.
Houses are getting tipsy. There it goes.
Local authorities currently estimate approximately 40 boats have taken damage or sunk from this roof collapse. One of the major issues they're dealing with now is there are actually homes located in this marina on the water, as can be seen in these images here. The current amount of snow and ice on the roof of these buildings is causing these buildings to list and raising concerns that some of these homes could sink. Local residents have already dove into action and are currently trying to get as much ice and snow off the roof of these buildings as they can. Our next incident to make the boating news of the week is going to take us to the only place in the country that does seem to be warm, and that is Florida, where this past week the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Tom Brady have won the Super Bowl. And in true Florida fashion, there's only one way to celebrate, and that is with a boat parade. While this may have been news in itself, this wily crew had to add to the fun. Right here, Tom Brady's going to toss the 7-pound, 2-foot sterling silver Lombardi trophy from the rear of his vessel over to the Rob Gronkowski vessel over open water. I'm not sure what this crew was thinking by this. I have to imagine this was induced by some adult beverages, but they just got lucky this did not wind up in the water and nobody got hurt. Our next incident to make the boating news this week is going to take us to Cape Charles, Virginia, where the old adage comes into play, being at the right place at the right time. This past Tuesday, the Shapiro family decided they were going to take a random midweek fishing trip, and boy are the 2 people who are the crew members on this boat, the Vixen, glad they did. Approximately 35 miles off of Fisherman Island, the Shapiros encountered the fishing vessel Vixen. When they approached, they found the vessel fully engulfed in flames and thought there was no way any crew members could actually be on the vessel. As they circled the vessel, there were 2 crew members they found hanging onto the rear transom who had been in the water for over 30 minutes at this point. The Shapiros loaded the 2 gentlemen onto their boat and raced to meet the Coast Guard, who was already en route. They then transferred the care of the 2 fishermen over to the Coast Guard. The Shapiros really were thankful they could just be in the right place at the right time, or this would have ended a whole lot differently. Our next incident to make the boating news this week is going to take us over to St. Augustine, Florida, where a right whale calf has died after colliding with a boat just outside the St. Augustine Inlet this past Friday evening. The story begins at 6:48 p.m. on Friday evening when authorities received the phone call that a sports fishing vessel is taking on water and sinking. When authorities arrive, all the crew members on board the vessel make the same claim. They hit a whale at speed and the boat began to take on water and sink quickly. The next morning, the right whale calf's body washed up on the Anastasia Beach State Park, confirming the story. What makes this story so tragic is this is an endangered species which currently only has approximately 400 left in the wild. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this week's episode of Boating News of the Week. If you ever see anything crazy happening out on your waterways, be sure to hit me up on Facebook or Instagram and let me know, and you might see your stories over here. Just like Nate Dawson, Martin Wooten, and Pablo Beckdorf did this week. And if you guys haven't already, go ahead and drop an anchor on that subscribe button.